What on earth is going on with crypto? Everything is going down, the market is crashing, and yes, of course, there are some news, as in Trump is playing around with his nuclear arsenal again, but that's not necessarily why everything is crashing. Some people think that this is just Bitcoin doing its thing. When Bitcoin is going down, then the altcoins tend to go down as well. When Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins tend to go up. But this is not a crash that is led by Bitcoin. This is rather a flight into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin in the last 24 hours went up. Bitcoin's dominance went up. So Bitcoin's dominance increased by 0.64%. Bitcoin became a more important part of all of crypto. So one could argue that Bitcoin simply got dragged down with the rest of the market. This is not Bitcoin crashing and then the rest following. You might know my long-term stance on Bitcoin dominance. I do believe there is a good chance that Bitcoin's dominance is going to rise up until the 70, potentially even 73%, until it makes sense to get back into the altcoins again. Currently, people are rather risk off. Currently, people are looking at where is the capital flowing. And yes, there was the crash of Bitcoin dominance during the rally of Solana meme coin trading. And there was another crash when the Ethereum treasury companies popped up. But now Bitcoin dominance can go on its long-term merry way up. Now, Ethereum dominance went down in the last 24 hours. Not by much, but it did decline by 0.64%. My long-term view on Ethereum dominance is that it's likely going to go down from here. But again, this crash is not caused by Ethereum. The reason, though, why I do believe that Ethereum dominance is likely going to decline long-term is because the purchases through the Ethereum ETFs are slowing down. They aren't as quick as they used to be, and while there are still the treasury companies buying, this is pretty much 100% just Tom Lee's Bitmine that is still buying Ethereum. When we exclude Tom Lee's Bitmine from this chart, then suddenly we see how the purchases stopped at the beginning of September. So really, it's only Tom Lee that's still buying Ethereum, and that's not enough to keep Ethereum dominance up. That's why I'm very bearish on Ethereum. But have a look at this. This is the others dominance. And the others dominance in the last 24 hours dropped by 3.14%. So this is an idiosyncratic move down by the altcoins. It's specifically the altcoins that are getting sold off. This is not triggered by Bitcoin. This is not triggered by Ethereum. This is mainly triggered by the altcoins themselves. They are suffering the most. Now, I do believe that long term, the others dominance, or the fraction of all of crypto that's in the smaller altcoins, is likely going to decline from here. And that has a direct impact on Ethereum. What we see here at the bottom, that's the Ethereum dominance. And have a look at how nicely those charts align. As in, when the others dominance, so the altcoins as a fraction of all of crypto, are high, then the Ethereum dominance tends to be high as well. When the altcoins aren't that great, then Ethereum is also sold off. So there is a direct correlation between those dominance charts. What's interesting is that the purchases through the treasury companies, right, when Ethereum dominance went up, did not have that much impact on the altcoin dominance going up. If we now expect that Ethereum dominance comes down because the purchases through the treasury companies have slowed down, because the purchases through the ETFs have slowed down, then we should also, as an extension, believe that the altcoins are likely going to continue to bleed from here. So the movement that we have seen in the last 24 hours, this might just be an introduction of what's going to come in even magnified form in the future. Now let's have a look at this here. This is total 3ES relative to total. Now what does this mean? It sounds very technical. Total 3ES is the market cap of all of crypto except Bitcoin, except Ethereum, and except the stable coins. And we put this into relation with the entire market cap. So how big are the volatile altcoins market cap relative to all of crypto? And unfortunately, since 2017, This rather tends to decline. We've got lower lows, we've got lower highs, those two lines are parallel, and there is a good chance that the altcoin market cap could crash even much more than it has in the last few weeks. So there could be an underperformance of the altcoins of more than 50% from here. This doesn't make me very bullish on buying this dip. But that's just the long-term trend with the altcoins. Have a look at this here. This is the stable coin dominance. So it's a bit more of a complex formula. You see it here in the background. But what's interesting about the stablecoin dominance is it shows us how much of all of crypto is currently risk off. When the stablecoin dominance is high, that means that a lot of dry powder is on the side ready to be deployed. When the stablecoin dominance is low, that means the market is already very much engaged. Now have a look at how this correlates with the entire cryptocurrency market cap. So this is total. Whenever the stablecoin dominance is low, then total is high. Whenever the stablecoin dominance is high, total is low. So we should be buying whenever the stablecoin dominance is very high. We should be selling whenever the stablecoin dominance is very low. And currently, we are comparatively high. We have touched the upper limit with the flash crash on the 10th of October, but we aren't yet again for a longer period at this top. So there is a good chance we go even higher. In general, I am rather risk off now. And one of the reasons is also that we are below the best moving averages for Bitcoin. I've backtested all kinds of moving averages for Bitcoin over the long term. I looked at all the moving averages between the 2-day all the way to the 200-day. I backtested all kinds of different leverages. I found out that the 44-day simple moving average, the line in orange, and the 125-day simple moving average, the line in turquoise, tend to be the best for Bitcoin. And they outperform buying and holding massively. This is the 44-day, so that's the backtest, that's the line here in turquoise, versus buying and holding Bitcoin, that's the line in white. And here is the 125-day. The 125-day performs a little bit worse compared to the 44-day, but it also has less drawdowns, as in it's less risky. But in general, right, I like to look at those two moving averages. We are currently below that, and so that's another reason to be rather cautious. Now, Bitcoin, again, I believe, looks like the most healthy of the bunch. Bitcoin dominance is likely going to go up from here. Ethereum dominance is likely going to go down from here. And that decline in Ethereum dominance will also have an impact on the altcoin market. And so the altcoins still have a long way to go down. Yes, the entire crypto market might see a bit of a bounce because the stablecoin dominance is comparatively high. But over long term, right, we tend to continue to see most appreciation happening with Bitcoin. Now, this is a bit of a different format today. It's just off the hip. There's no editing here. If you appreciate this kind of video, then feel free to subscribe over here. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Bye-bye.